Welcome back, guys. Sorry, I didn't realize I was right at the end of my time there. So this will be quoting conversation templates, part two. Excuse me. So as I was saying, you can use those to, depending on how you're building your particular argument or your inquiry research, and use the templates as we were discussing and build them into your paper to use quotes. And I think I was saying at the end of that video too, to notice that how in this particular example that the quotes are kind of interwoven in there, and each quote serves a very, very specific purpose. So the purpose of this quote was to introduce the idea of trauma, right, in this particular paragraph. And then in the next quote, he uses it to help support the two genes associated with violent repeat offenders, and then to build upon that idea so that he can then start to introduce psychologists from Stetson University and then Dr. Richard Davidson in the University of Wisconsin to talk about genetics, right, and to continue to build upon that same idea. And so I want to go back and just kind of just look at the conversation templates again. Again, feel free to use these words. Okay, it's not a boo boo. It's not a no no. All right, to use these, feel free to use reports, suggests, urges, argues, insists, observes, questions. Use these things to qualify the quote that you're bringing in. Here's some other ways to introduce the the quote, as you noticed, the student in the example. So let's go back up here where we were looking at. And so he kind of borrowed from this one here, Rebecca A. Clay, in the article titled. You'll notice that here you could, in this particular case, this one was in her book, right, or in her article, title of article. Author name, maintains that, right? He just used explains, right? And here's writing in the journal commentary, X explains that, boom, right? According to X, boom. So you've got these, here's some agrees, disagrees, complicates matters, these kinds of things that you can use, and feel free to use these, okay? If you're look back on some of your quotes and you feel like every single time that you say something, it says you say X states. Well, that's one of them. We kind of want to vary it a little bit of variety, so that your audience doesn't, I don't want to say get bored, but you want to also think about what the quote is doing, right? Is it agreeing with something? Is it disagreeing with something? Is it complicating matters? Is it explaining something? Is it maintaining something? Is it denying something, confirming something? Is it furthering a discussion? These types of things. And feel free to use these words up here. Is it demonstrating? Are they emphasizing, etc.? And then after each one of your quotes, right, with these, one thing you can kind of use that's really, really nice. Also with these conversation templates, these are templates, so you use them, right? After you explain a quote, here are some ways for you to think about then segueing in so that you, what we call contextualize the quote, use the quote. Don't just drop the quote in there and then just kind of keep skedaddling along, right? So after you introduce the quote, right, and you capture the author's action, then you explain the quote, right? That is to say, in other words, in making this comment, author, Smith urges us to, boom, blank, Smith is corroborating. Jones's point is that, the essence of Jones's argument is that, blah, 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 blah. So these are some great examples, and feel free to use them, okay? It's not a bad thing. It's a really, really good thing. I use these all the time. I have, when I'm writing articles and putting stuff together, I'm using these all the time. So I encourage you to do the same and use them as frequently as you need. All right, they're there for you. All right, so I don't run out of time on part two here. Hopefully this is helpful, right? Helping you think about quoting and paraphrasing for the Inquiry Research Project. And we'll talk some more about that as we move forward. All right, guys, we'll talk to you soon. Stay safe, stay awesome. Bye now.